If you're someone who's always wanted a full-size keyboard that doesn't compromise on functionality, then you're in for a treat. We're talking about 8BitDo's brand new keyboard with a full 108 keys, including the all-important Numpad. Whether you're a gamer, a content creator, or just someone who loves typing with precision, this keyboard might just change the game for you. Stick around to find out why I believe this is a must-have for anyone looking for the perfect blend of retro style and modern features. Let's talk about the first major highlight, the 108 keys. Now you might be wondering, why is this such a big deal? Well, I believe that the number of keys on a keyboard can really make a difference in your experience, especially if you're someone who does a lot of typing, gaming, or even productivity work. For the longest time, many keyboards only came up with 104 keys, leaving out the essential numpad that so many of us love. But 8BitDo, known for their retro-style gadgets, have gone above and beyond by packing in a full 108 key layout. What's even cooler is that they've managed to do this while maintaining a compact and ergonomic design. I don't know about you, but having that full 108 key setup with all the number and function keys you could ever need just feels right. I mean, I've always felt a little limited by smaller keyboards, especially when I had to rely on on-screen keyboards for number crunching. But with this full-size layout, you get the best of both worlds, style and functionality. Plus, the Numpad, that's a game changer for anyone who works with numbers, plays RPGs, or just likes to have the extra space to navigate. Speaking of the Numpad, I have to say it's probably one of the features that sets this keyboard apart from a lot of its competitors. Now, I know there are some of you out there who might think, who even needs a Numpad in 2024? Well, I believe the Numpad is still an essential part of any keyboard, especially for people who do a lot of data entry, accounting, or even gaming. Personally, I've always been a fan of having the Numpad there. If you're someone who needs to input numbers quickly, the layout and convenience of the Numpad makes a world of difference. Sure, you could always use a standard row of numbers above the letters, but the Numpad is so much faster and more intuitive. And let's not forget gaming. Some games use the Numpad for commands or macros. Having those extra keys right there, ready for action, can give you that extra bit of speed and responsiveness that you might need during intense gameplay. Now here's where things get really interesting. This keyboard is from 8BitDo, a brand that's known for merging retro aesthetic with modern functionality. If you've ever used one of their controllers or accessories, you'll know exactly what I mean. The 8BitDo keyboard has a design that calls back to the classic keyboards of the past, but it's also packed with features that you'd expect from a high-end modern keyboard. The key switches on this bad boy are the same ones used in some of their other products, so you get that satisfying tactile feedback with each press. Whether you're typing a report or getting deep into a game, it feels like you're pressing something solid and reliable, not just a cheap membrane key that feels like it's going to break after a few months. I believe the mix of old school aesthetic with modern tech is one of 8BitDo's best selling points. It's not just for nostalgia, it's for people who want a keyboard that not only looks cool, but works well. And with the 108 key layout, you're getting all that without sacrificing space or comfort. One thing that stands out to me when I think about the 8BitDo keyboard is customization. Now, we all know that personalization is key when it comes to our tech setups. Whether it's swapping out keycaps, tweaking RGB lighting, or adjusting profiles, we all like to make our gear feel uniquely ours. The 8BitDo keyboard offers hot swappable key switches. This means you can change the switches whenever you like, whether it's a quiet linear switch for office work or a clicky tactile switch for typing fun. It's an awesome feature that gives you flexibility, especially if you're someone who likes to experiment with different feels. Plus, while the Numpad might seem like an obvious feature for people who work with numbers, the fact that you can customize the switches means that the Numpad itself can be as personal as the rest of the keyboard. So whether you're using it for gaming or data entry, you're guaranteed to have a smooth experience. When it comes to connectivity, this keyboard does not disappoint. One thing I absolutely love is the flexibility. If you have used keyboards that are tethered to one connection method, you'll appreciate just how many options the 8BitDo offers. You can connect via USB-C, Bluetooth, or even 2.4 GHz wireless dongle. Personally, I'm all about convenience, so I love that this keyboard gives me the option to easily switch between devices. Bluetooth for my laptop, USB-C when I'm working at my desk, and the wireless dongle if I'm gaming on my PC. Having these options really opens up a whole new world of usability. I believe that multi-device support is essential for modern tech. More and more of us are using multiple devices at once, and being able to switch between them without dealing with extra cables or complicated setup steps is a total win. Let's talk about the typing experience. I know keyboards are a very personal thing, and what feels good to one person may not feel great to another. But let me tell you, the 8BitDo's keyboard typing experience is fantastic. The keys feel solid and responsive, and provide that satisfying tactile feedback a lot of people, myself included, crave when typing. I believe that a keyboard's feel is one of the most important factors in deciding if it's right for you. If you're going to spend hours typing or gaming, you want a keyboard that's going to feel comfortable and responsive. The 8BitDo does a great job in this area. The key switches are responsive, and there's that satisfying click or thock sound depending on your switch type, which I find adds a layer of enjoyment to every keystroke. Now, I don't want to paint a picture that's all sunshine and rainbows here. As great as the 8BitDo keyboard is, there are a couple of things I feel could use a little improvement. First, the lack of backlighting might be a deal breaker for some people, especially those who type in dimly lit environments. While I get that the retro aesthetic might not call for flashy RGB, a subtle backlight would have been a nice touch. Another thing to consider is the price point. While I think the keyboard offers a lot for the money, it might be a little on the higher side for some, especially if you're only looking for a simple office keyboard. But for those of you who appreciate the Numpad, customization options, and retro vibes, I believe the price is definitely worth it. So let's wrap things up. If you're someone who needs a full-size keyboard with all 108 keys, including a numpad, and you want something that combines retro style with modern functionality, I think the 8BitDo keyboard is an excellent choice. The ability to customize your switches, the multiple connectivity options, and the satisfying typing feel make this keyboard a great option for both work and play. Sure, it's not perfect, there's no backlighting, and it might be a bit pricey for some. But for me, I believe it's one of the best retro-inspired keyboards on the market right now, and I can see it being a perfect addition to any tech setup. If you're into that nostalgic feel, but want all the modern features, this one definitely hits the mark. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you rock a keyboard with 108 keys, or is the numpad just too much for you? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tech reviews.